I'll now pass the floor to Samson Hadoush. He is the mastermind behind a program preparing young graduate students to become energy managers. And my question to you is, the good thing about renewable energy, as we've been told, is it empowers, it brings enormous opportunities to people. It is essentially a hugely democratic change to our society. But bringing renewables to Africa, as we've heard, issues about financing, issues about risk-taking, requires people who are willing to take risks at the end of the day. Now, I'm old, so I don't take risks anymore, but anybody who has teenage sons knows that young people take risks. Yeah. So how are we going to empower the youth of Africa to bring this change forward?
All right, thank you very much. Happy to be here. Indeed, we are living in exciting times, basically, regarding energy transition, and this is presenting endless opportunities for citizens of the world. The politics, the economics, and the technology of renewables are really in sync to expedite universal access to modern energy in Africa, and not only through the top-down approach, which is the classical approach, but also through the bottom-up approach, which has been considered as a second-class solution for quite some time in terms of rural edification. So, and I believe that a genuine and sustainable socio-economic transformation in Africa can only be achieved when we Africans basically take the lead, get our acts together, and among others, this requires coordinated efforts and a set of conducive environment to activate the entrepreneurial spirit of young African youth. Universities and schools can play a key role in this, in activating the entrepreneurial spirit of the young generation and training and equipping them with the tools, the skills that they need to see every challenge, every societal challenge as a business opportunity. So that kind of mind shift need to be achieved. And indeed, European institutions, universities and schools can play a supporting role in this. So in this regard, I would like to share two of the experiences that we have at Vlerick Business School. So I'm working as a postdoctoral researcher at Vlerick Business School. I'm originally from Ethiopia. I studied in Europe, and basically I see that the importance of energy. So if you've been to Africa and then you know, if you have also lived in Europe, you tend to appreciate, or you tend to have a different value for energy than any other person. So in this regard, what we did is, okay, we said we want to support renewables. We want to support the sustainable energy for all activities. But what do? Do we write research papers, or do we write other reports? But we said, okay, we want to support action. How do we support action? So we used our students, basically, who are more and more interested in impactful activities. And we designed a renewable energy bootcamp. This is a 3-week intensive program which puts students, or which would allow students to dive into the energy sector to see the energy transition that's happening. So both in Europe and Africa. And like most boot camps in business schools, we had also a real-life business challenge for the students. That we said, okay, develop a business plan that could work in the West African market. So there's a real company behind it. A European company that wants to invest in the West African energy market. And we put this forward to them. And then we said, okay, select the first country that you would enter, develop a business model, and come up with the expansion plan that you would do to enter into this market. In doing so, we didn't follow the classical way of teaching and so on. Like what we did is we invited renewable energy experts in the field to give them their perspectives and inspire them, coach them in developing this business project. So what we did is we had like over 30 renewable energy experts participating in this. And here I would like to also acknowledge that the collaboration that we had with the Alliance for Rural Electrification has been very useful. And we were able to take our students, 35 students, to the Energy Access Investment Summit in Lisbon. And this has brought the industry players and the students together, and it has been a nice experience. And I believe such associations, industry associations in energy, especially working on the bottom-up approach, should closely collaborate with businesses, with schools, and definitely, I mean, like if you, and I know that RA is taking this seriously, and anyone who is interested could get in touch with them. So this is one, and the second thing that we did is a follow-up of this bootcamp. So basically, our students normally do consultancy projects for companies as part of their curriculum. And some of these consultancy projects, we label them as global social projects, meaning these projects involve like solving societal problem in developing countries. So last year we had projects in Burkina Faso, in Chile and India. And this year we have ongoing projects in Mali, Kenya and Chile. So, and I'll be happy to share one of the experience that we had. So the students that went to develop organically growing mini-grid project in Mali, in a small town or village called Zantiguala. What they did is they did all the financial analysis. They went to the ground, so they did all the financial analysis, the risk assessments, and just last week they went to pitch their proposals at Electrify for €100,000 funding. So this is, I mean, like putting students in real action for me. And that's what we are doing. And then, so currently we are exploring possibilities to share this experience with other universities and schools in Africa. And we are also exploring possibilities to put both European and African students in the same kind of renewable energy projects. That's what we are doing. And here I would like to mention that there are already initiatives. I mean, the youth in Africa is already actively taking a lead on energy access issues. And I would like to share one of the young leaders that I met in Lisbon. Her name is Miss Astria Fataki. So she set up the Energy Generation Academy. So this is an academy that trains young entrepreneurs in Africa she gives them like, okay, they have ideas how to solve problems and so on. Probably they're mostly engineers and so on. But this academy trains those students to translate their ideas, their products into the market. So this is, I mean, she doesn't have any external support. It's like a bottom-up initiative of hers, and we see more and more of these activities, and I see a kind of disconnect, or there's no enough support to this kind of youth, and there has to be some support for this kind of initiatives. And with this, I believe that, and I'm very much optimistic that if we follow this bottom-up approach and we support the young, we bring the young Africans on board on the energy transition topic, we can easily achieve the sustainable energy objective by 2030. So, and I heard one of the speakers during the bootcamp, Mr. Diego Pavia, is the CEO of Kick Inno Energy, saying that every single page of the winter package of the in Europe is an opportunity, or it presents an opportunity. And I would definitely say that every single electrified household in Africa is also an opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you tell us about the project in Mali in detail? I mean, how many solar panels, how's it going to be financed? What percentage is grant compared to loan? Who's loaning it? What's the structure?
So the company behind it is called Green Ventures, and the technology provider is called Powerbox. So the whole idea is also related to what this Internet of Things or the Internet of Energy. So the thing is, they developed a model, a technology that will enable, like, okay, you have a solar home system in one house, and then, like, okay, you can connect it with another one, but the systems themselves intelligently synchronize each other. So when there is surplus, they could share, and they can naturally grow. And whenever, like, say, for instance, a bigger supply comes, they can easily connect to those mini grids. So this is, for me, a technology that I personally also support, because I feel like it's future-proof in a way, because you have, like, you're electrifying people, and at the same time, when the grid comes to that neighbor, there will not be any incompatibilities. So the whole concept is that. And so this project, so what they did is, they secured a village, so they negotiated and then said, okay, they have the right to experiment on that village. So at this point in time, it's a pilot project. And so they have selected the villagers who will be participating in that. And and the concept is there. So they have went for funding, and they are looking for 50% of the funding from electrifying, basically. And the rest will be from the company.